Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nural Haith. I am one of the joint heads of the Forced Marriage Unit in the UK.
Good afternoon. My name is Jenny Horrocks. I'm the other joint head of the Forced Marriage Unit. The Forced Marriage Unit in the UK is a joint team between the Home Office and the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. The Forced Marriage Unit was established in 2005, and we lead on forced marriage casework, policy, and also prevention work and raising awareness of forced marriage. In 2020, we worked on roughly 750 cases of forced marriage. We're here to give advice primarily, so we run a public helpline and an inbox. We most commonly work either directly with victims or we receive calls from their colleagues, their friends, their family. And we also do a lot of work with police and social services and other professionals throughout the UK. If forced marriage victims are in the UK, we can help them regardless of their nationality. If people are overseas, we can help them if they're British or they're dual nationals. And this is where we can offer consular assistance. So we work with our colleagues in embassies all around the world to help with things like emergency travel documentation. But we also have funded partnerships with safe houses in some of our key countries. We most commonly work in South Asia, the Middle East and Central Africa, but we do work all over the world. So in 2020, we worked across 54 different countries, and in previous years, it's been even more than
that. The structural conditions which characterize our work is that the Forced Marriage Unit is jointly funded by both Home Office and Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. Bulk of the policy and related matters sit with our Home Office, which is equivalent of Ministry of Interior. So forced marriage has been illegal in the UK since 2014. So if convicted, you could face up to 7 years imprisonment. It is also illegal to deceive someone into going overseas to force them to get married. Forced marriage is on our national curriculum. So all school children are taught about it, and there is good awareness of the law. We also have what is called forced marriage protection orders. These are UK court orders, which are easy to obtain and do not require a lot of evidence. These are usually taken out by police for adults or social services for children. People who are trying to force someone to get married will face up to 5 years in prison if they break the terms of an order, which usually says you must not force this person to get married. It could also say you must not take them overseas without permission, or it could also say you must bring them back to the UK by such and such date. So our role is to support agencies applying for forced marriage protection orders. And our aim is to empower them and make them understand how easy it is to obtain the forced marriage protection orders and the effectiveness of these forced marriage protection orders.
So in terms of political structures, the Forced Marriage Unit is a small team of 6 staff, both from the Home Office and the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. And this gives us a really wide range of expertise and contacts. So from the Foreign Office side, we oversee the consular assistance policy. And of course, we have access to our overseas embassies and overseas diplomatic contacts and partners, and they can help when British people need that consular assistance. On the Home Office side, we have very strong links into police forces throughout the UK, border force, and also immigration services. Externally, we have really good links with many stakeholders in the UK who work on both forced marriage, but also linked issues such as honour-based abuse and domestic violence. So we regularly meet with stakeholders. Particularly, we have quite strong links with non-governmental organisations who also run helplines. Some of these are directly funded by the Home Office, so we speak to them quite regularly to discuss issues facing our own helpline and cases that we see.
So currently, the greatest challenges of our work has been obviously COVID. Since COVID restrictions came into force, the pandemic has affected many cases, but it is very difficult to tell with reduced travel and fewer weddings if fewer forced marriages have occurred or if people have had less chance to report them. We get a lot of referrals from schools, colleagues, friends who may not have seen victims. Also, the biggest challenge for us has been engaging directly with communities in an appropriate way. We are working with community leaders and non-government organizations to speak directly to the public, and we're always seeking out other avenues and forums to engage directly with the communities. We recently translated our publication called What is a Forced Marriage into 12 languages to make it more accessible to a wider range of communities. So, as I said, one of the challenges has been dealing directly with the communities, but then looking at the legal aspects of it, one of the challenges that we face is we have very strong legislation in the UK, but enforcing that legislation when the victim is overseas is very difficult because people are in different countries and different legislation according to wherever they are. And our legislation can't be reinforced or enforced overseas. But we always find solutions. So if an individual, the perpetrator, has UK links, and we use that as leverage to enforce the legislation. And I'm really pleased to say that in most cases, almost all the cases, we have been successfully enforcing our forced marriage protection orders. And if the forced marriage protection order directs somebody to be repatriated to UK, then it usually results in perpetrators bringing the victims back to the UK.
We've had a lot of success delivering training to professionals across the UK. This has been one of the few good things about the pandemic, is that we switched from meeting people in person for training to delivering training online through Microsoft Teams. This has seen a big increase in the number of professionals who are able to join our training. It's much more efficient and it's much cheaper for them not to have to travel. And we've managed to train over 1,000 professionals last year, covering all different regions of the UK, and have had really excellent feedback. And we're seeing some of the people that we've trained are coming to us almost immediately to talk about cases of forced marriage. So it has been very beneficial. The other aspect of our work that's been particularly well received is the number of publications that we have on our website. So some of these are aimed at the general public. For example, there are some that explain the law around forced marriage, and we also have a survivor's handbook. So this has information on how survivors of forced marriage can access a really wide range of support services in the UK. And we also have publications aimed at professionals. For example, this is our multi-agency practice guidelines. It's our handbook for professionals. It will be updated very shortly, but there are bespoke sections in there aimed at GPs, border force staff, marriage registrars, a full range of professionals that may come into contact with a victim of forced marriage, and it's guidance on how they can best support that person.
Well, the best wish for the future would be that we had 0 forced marriages and no victims were taken abroad for a forced marriage. That would be our best wish. However, all the work that we are doing, this is a continual process of development to ensure we are delivering the best service. We want to continue our very successful program of engagement and increasing the work with professionals and talking directly to communities. This is something that we really wish to do, and we are making great efforts to engage directly with the communities who are affected by forced marriages. We're always happy to talk to other countries and discuss ideas and learn from each other. And we would really welcome this opportunity to speak to you today. Our aim is always to have an effective prevention strategy to prevent cases of forced marriage and of reduced number of forced marriages taking place in the UK, as well as I said, no victims being taken overseas for the purpose of forced marriage.